Okay, so after creating a profile and then sending applications, and most of the clients that would like to hire you will interview you first. Okay, so mag-interview muna. And hopefully, maging maganda yung profile and yung application nyo para dumating na tayo sa interview. Now, online interviews, um, it's just the same. It's the same. It has the same goal as yung offline interviews. It's really about knowing you as a person, as an applicant, and finding out if you are a great fit for the job ad and for the business, for the company. So online interviews is done through online communication tools like Skype or Google Hangouts. Walang standard na ginagamit, but a lot of the online interviews that we've been on is on Skype. So um, it's good to have uh, an account talaga on Skype. Okay. Now, since it's all about online, it's online interviews is more of maximizing the digital era. So you don't have to go to where the client is, and that's the beauty of working online, of working as a virtual assistant. You get to be hired by people overseas without even going there. Hindi mo na kailangang magkaroon ng visa or passport just to be hired by someone who will pay you better than yung mga local options natin dito. So maximize the digital era, and we'll also give you another tip on how you can maximize this whole online interview. Now, um, instead of doing this face to face, because ito nga, minamaximize ka natin, instead na eh, harapan yung ginagawa. And ang kagandahan nito, especially sa mga mahiyain, yung mga tipong shy or madaling ma-embarrass or something, lalo na kapag may kausap na ibang tao or madaling kabahan, ang kagandahan nito from yung usual na interviews is that they don't get to see you talaga. Ang makikita lang sa'yo is what you want them to see, which is mostly your face and your upper body. So, ma-maximize mo siya in terms of hindi ka masyadong mahihiya because yun lang na makikita sa'yo. Hindi mo, mas magiging comfortable ka pa because sa bahay ka. And minsan kailangan mo lang mag-dress up sa upper body mo kahit naka-shorts ka or naka-pajama. Okay lang, din naman makikita, di ba? So that's another thing of maximizing this online and remote way of uh, interviewing. So, some of the things that we would like you to remember when it comes to interview is that an interview goes both ways. Okay, so as a virtual assistant, hindi lang yung basta-basta na i-interviewin ka, sasagot ka. Okay, you can also ask them questions. You can also, and we highly suggest that you take control of the call. You take control of the conversation, especially for newbies. Why? Because if you take control of the conversation, mas steer mo yung yung conversation into yung gusto mong flow, 'di ba? Because meron tayong mga iwasan, let's say, ayaw natin na mapag-usapan na wala tayong experience, ganon. So, you can just steer the conversation into yung sa mga strengths mo, ba? Um, Another is that you can use yung digital and you can use a lot of different things to your advantage while doing the interview online, and we'll show you how in the next coming videos. So, online interviews is not something to be scared of. Sa totoo lang, dapat masaya tayo na nag-online interview tayo. Why? Because the profile that we created, the application, the cover letter that we sent worked. Okay? So, um, the fact that the client is interviewing you and talking to you and they want to know more about you means that you have the requirements and they see something in you and they think that they can hire you and they can work with you. Okay, and it's an opportunity to convince the client of hiring you. Okay, so they saw something and they want to check it out, but they're still not hiring you. So meron pa silang mga tanong, gusto pa nila i-clarify, and obviously, baka meron pang ibang mga applicants na katulad mo are also qualified for the job. So being interviewed should be something that you should seize, hindi yung something that you should shy away from. So your application and your cover letters means that it's working, right? And going back, an interview goes both ways. You can even ask the client why they decided to interview you. What did they see dun sa application mo? And that's real-time and valuable feedback. Whether you get hired or not, that is something that you can work on. Okay? So, pag may sinabi sila na, kasi I saw this and um, it resonated with me, or ang ganda talaga ng pagkakasabi mo na ito, then maybe on your next application, you can maximize and capitalize dun sa binigay na feedback ng client. So when we say both ways, you should ask questions to ask, especially about their business. So, and obviously, what's relevant dun sa business nila in terms of the job opening o yung position na gusto mong applyan. Find out more about the business. Why? Because it makes you look interested, right? And if you find out more about the business, you'll have more information on how to um, convince them into hiring you. Okay. And another thing is if you ask questions about them, about the business, about the job ad, you look more interested, you look more serious, like you want to start this. Okay. And that you look more confident. Right? Kasi hindi po nakafocus sa interview, but you're already looking forward. And taking control of the conversation, like I said, uh, is very important, especially for virtual assistants. Virtual assistants are proactive. Okay, so tayo yung experts, tayo yung there to support and help the business. And that means that we have to, in a certain level, kailangan may control tayo sa nangyayari sa atin. And the best way to show that to a client is taking control of the conversation while doing the interview. Now, taking control doesn't have to be strong or kailangan medyo rude ka. Okay, there are ways to take control of conversation by still being nice and professional. So, using the digital ways of the world to your advantage, like I said, ipapakita mo lang yung gusto nila makita, you can control what they see. And here's another thing that you can do while doing the interview. Um, have a cheat sheet. Magkaroon ka na ng parang mga um, notes about the business, or pwede ka rin maglagay doon ng mga bagay na pwede mong sabihin. May mga power lines or mga bits of information that you would like to let the client know about you. Lalo na sa mga tao na may mga tao kasi na kapag kinakabahan, nauutal or nakakalimutan, especially yung flow ng conversation. So have a cheat sheet para medyo structured, and if you did your research about the business and about the client, you'll know more about them. You'll know what to say to get their attention. Okay, so maganda ilagay mo na yun sa cheat sheet mo. Another is your resume, your profile, and the client website. So while you're talking, okay, hindi mo naman kakabisado yung website nila, pwede mo nang tignan habang nag-uusap kayo kasi di naman nila nakikita yung screen mo. And you have control over how you look, what you say, and the information that you can give if you have all of this open while talking to the client. So these are some of the basic stuff that you can do to nail those online interviews. And in the next coming videos, we will break down some of the process that we use and we have in our agencies, and I also do when I am on a client interview. So just to give you more insights on how experienced virtual assistants take control and really get the buy-in of the client during online interviews.